Hello and welcome to Marvelous Videos. I'm your host, Mystical Blue. It has officially been 10 years since the release of the comedy horror known as The Cabin in the Woods. Director Drew Goddard and writer Joss Whedon had come together for this project, which ended on a very definite note, leaving little to no room for a sequel. The writer-director duo was successful at making the movie a cult classic. They also allowed everything to end on a solid note. However, they mainly wished to revive the slasher genre, but to accelerate the revival, one would need more than just one movie. This might have been a brief overview so far, but in today's video, we will talk about the reasons behind Cabin in the Woods not having a sequel. Before diving into the content, we would like to make a very small request to our viewers. Please subscribe to Marvelous Videos, like and comment on our videos, and press the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload a video. We would be grateful to you, and we hope to bring you the best nerdy content. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Why didn't we see the Cabin in the Woods sequel until now? This comedy horror film follows the stereotypical tropes that have been ever present in horror movies, but instead of using them as the means to utilise a proven successful formula in order to grab the audience, these stereotypes have been used with the intention of emphasising the fact that these are, in fact, stereotypes. A gist of the movie's premise should give you a fair idea of what we are talking about. 5 friends visit their friend's cousin's cabin. While the male characters are assigned roles such as the jock, the fool, and the scholar, the female characters are assigned the roles of being the whore and the virgin. As the plot progresses, they come across more and more horror elements in the cabin that automatically manifest into the horror creatures from the respective element. What sets the premise apart despite using such stereotypes is the fact that a group of scientists are orchestrating these events to fulfill a ritual that will keep the ancient ones happy. In fact, the characters are being killed strategically as they are being used as sacrifices for the ritual, and the horror tropes are a part of the ritual which states that the whore has to die first and the virgin has to die in the end. Ultimately, the virgin and the fool are the only ones left standing, following the exposure of the scientists and their lab full of monsters. And in the end, the virgin continues to live, making the ritual a failure. Naturally, the ancient ones are not happy, and they soon come out of the ground and destroy humanity as a whole. At the time of Earth's destruction, the remaining characters themselves believe that humanity is not worth saving, so they allow things to get worse. This makes one thing very clear. Not only has the movie killed off its characters, it has also ended with the world's destruction. So a sequel to the movie seems pointless, because how will it even be executed? The cabin is gone, there are no woods anymore, there aren't even people. A sequel does not make sense. The movie also tries to mock horror movie tropes, and it successfully does that. Considering the fact that the movie has achieved everything it was meant to, a sequel that has no basis to work itself upon is simply not necessary. Hypothetically, if the world did not end, and if the movie branched out into a franchise, they would have to keep up with the mockery of the tropes. However, the comedy in Cabin in the Woods was never strong enough to stand on its own. So, to make the parody the primary identity of the hypothetical franchise, they would have to rely on joking about the tropes, which is not the first film's identity. The story was written by Joss Whedon, and he had not created the first story with a sequel in mind. As such, the first film had no loose ends and ended on a very definitive note, instead of maintaining a sense of ambiguity. Director Drew Goddard also sided with Whedon in not setting up the story as something that will eventually have a sequel.
Beautiful. I'm the spider, and I'm sleeping in the Rambler.
Where is the cast of Cabin in the Woods 10 years later? When it comes to the cast members of the movie, some of them have been quite recognisable, the most notable being Chris Hemsworth. Among Hemsworth's friends in the film, the first one is Dana Polt, or the Virgin, who has been played by Christine Connolly. As of now, she has recently appeared in an erotic thriller called Deepwater. The mantle of the jock was given to Chris Hemsworth, Kurt Vaughn. He was the one with access to the cabin and was portrayed as a typical athletic himbo with a hot girlfriend. At present, everyone knows that Chris is playing Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His girlfriend in the movie was Anna Hutchinson's Jules Luden, the whore. who was the first one to die. The actor later appeared in Braveheart and Robert the Bruce. Marty Machowski was the fool, played by Franz Kranks. He was scrapped early and later appeared in the cult favourite series by Whedon called Dollhouse. In 2022, Kranks also wrote and directed a film called Mass, which received stellar critical acclaim. And finally, the Scholar, or Holden McCree, was played by Jesse Williams. He is renowned for appearing as Jackson Avery in Grey's Anatomy. Is The Cabin in the Woods 2 movie happening? Considering what we said previously, Cabin in the Woods 2 is not happening unless it is a complete reboot. And the reboot would require taking away everything that makes the story of the first movie special. The directors have also succeeded at making the small things work with this film, and by making it unique with the plot point of everything being controlled from the shadows. It has also added the Lovecraftian beings, or the ancient ones, to the plot, adding more colour to the movie. They are the ones who have destroyed the world after their followers failed to fulfill the ritual by sacrificing a virgin. The monsters locked in the boxes are also gone. There is nothing left anymore, so we can safely say that a sequel is not happening. Marvelous verdict. To be fair, the cult classic film not getting the status of being a cult classic franchise sounds like a miss, but it would also take away from the things that make Cabin in the Woods a cult classic. And horror movies nowadays that tend to have a lot of sequels that just fail at having the same impact as the first movie from the franchise. So, in a way, it is great that you did not get to see another movie from Cabin in the Woods, which could have a negative effect on the original. With that, today's video comes to an end. What did you think of Cabin in the Woods not getting a sequel? Did you enjoy this video? If yes, then don't forget to like and comment on it. Till then, goodbye and have a nice one.
Something chewed through the connections in the utility shaft. Something went. Something.